Hey, so back in December, I had a question to one of my videos about the new Bolt Action Introduction Starter Set that is supposed to teach new players how to play Bolt Action. And this was actually a question from someone who wants to get into the hobby but maybe doesn't like 28mm. Let's go and read it, shall we? Just find it here. So here is the question. This might be a slightly unrelated question for the video topic. Well, you guys can always ask me anything. If I think your questions are interesting enough for a video, I'll do a video. If not, I'll try and answer as many of them as I can. So perfectly fine by me. Mine is about figure scale, the questionnaire writes. Most people play Bolt Action in 28mm. Yeah, that's the game is designed to be 28mm, 1 to 56 scale, and everything about it is 1 to 56 scale, but it doesn't need to be. As you're right, most tournaments run this. Yes, I don't know of anyone running other scales than 28mm that aren't just home games, but I have run other scales than 28mm because I have friends that had huge collections of Flames of War, and then they stopped playing Flames of War and sort of got into Bolt Action, and we played very large games at other scales. However, for someone from the outside, I feel more inclined to start a collection on a smaller scale, 15mm or even 10mm, and the newer 12mm. Yes, I understand that. 12mm, I believe, is it Victrix that's sending out 12mm ranges? There are a lot of scales. I would suggest looking at the Flames of War miniatures, because they're dirt cheap, and you can get everything for World War II. All the minis that we use in Bolt Action, you can get in that scale as well. You can get a lot of them. So for very cheap money, you can get a whole army, basically. And if you want to do this, I would suggest that you either find a buddy that wants to play in the same scale, or simply buy 2 armies for yourself, so that you have it in that scale, so that you can go in that scale. Another thing that's really good about playing in smaller scales, 15, 10, 12mm, is that you can use model train scales. So you can use houses from model trains. I have collections of old houses that I used to own when I was a kid, right? Those are still in my collection of miniatures because I can use them at smaller scales. So for me, there is a lot that speaks to that scale being actually helpful. I would suggest maybe using pennies as the base for your minis instead of the multi-bases that you get with Flames of War. So individual troopers, because individual troopers for Bolt Action is a thing. Yeah. He then writes, I'm a family dad, so both time and space is limited. Oh, it is for all of us. It is for everyone. I have a daytime job. I've got a wife. I've got a huge family. There isn't enough time in the world. Just how it is. We make time. One of the things that I often say is that gaming and hobbying is what gives me energy to do all the rest. So in that respect, I see if you can think of it like that it's something that gives you energy. I'm not hugely concerned about matching collection with others, as I'm guessing it's a niche within a niche of hobbies where there's probably hosting both sides of the battle. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that if you have both sides and you can easily buy that, then you can just host it and people can come and play games. And I only expect to do a handful of games a year. Perfect, right? Perfect. I have some old Warhammer Fantasy figures from my childhood, but they just feel oddly big for play pieces. Well, if you feel like that, then smaller minis is definitely up your alley. And then also, larger pieces quite often needs a good painter. I'm not for bold action. I'm not much of a painter myself, although I do paint and paint okay well. But I mainly focus on other things than bold action because it's green and brown, and I'm red-green colorblind, so those colors don't really speak to me anyway. And you're not expecting a super creative paint job, and it's mostly monotone figures. Yeah. Are you overthinking this? No, you're not. I think you should just go for it. Go and look up Flames of War miniatures. Make yourself 2 lists on Easy Army and just buy those minis and play the game. Right. The final question here is, how do you feel about 28mm, and does it make painting the miniatures more enjoyable, or is it just painting large screen surface? For me, yes. If you enjoy painting, then the larger miniatures are a bigger joy to paint. The smaller miniatures, the detail just gets lost. Actually, it's like this: the bigger the miniature, I'm doing like what's that? 120 mil, 12 centimeters. The bigger the miniature, the more details you can get, and there is a joy in painting that. But of course, it takes a lot more time, and it's a different hobby than actually playing games with your miniatures, right? It's a related hobby, but a different one. So, yeah. Basically, it is a more enjoyable to paint larger miniatures. That's at least my experience. So, yeah, that was the Q&A for today. I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.